So today is 7th June 2026, Sunday class. We'll be continuing our sharing from this book, Surangama Sutra. We are on page 91. So as usual, we come forward and light the candles and incense and have our physical puja. 南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨。南无阿弥陀佛。南无阿弥陀佛。南无阿弥陀佛。南无弥勒佛。南无弥勒佛。南无弥勒佛。南无药师佛。南无药师佛。南无药师佛。南无文殊菩萨。南无文殊菩萨。南无文殊菩萨。南无普贤菩萨。南无普贤菩萨。南无普贤菩萨。南无地藏王菩萨。南无地藏王菩萨。南无地藏王菩萨。南无佛菩萨。南无佛菩萨。南无佛菩萨。อะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธภะคะวาบุตตังภะคะวันตังอะภิวาเทมิสวากขาโตภะคะวะตาธัมโมธัมมังนัมมัสสามิสุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนามามินะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะพุทธังสรณังกัจฉามิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิดุติยัมปิพุทธังสรณังกัจฉามิดุติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิดุติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิพุทธังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิปานาติปาตาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิอาดินาดานาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิกาเมสุมิจฉาจาราเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิมุสาวาทาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิสุราเมรัยมัจจาปมาทัฏฐานะเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิสาธุสาธุสาธุ Okay, let's pay respect to Puja. Buddhang Pujemi. Dhammang Pujemi. Sanghang Pujemi. Invocation to the Devas. In this universe, in their entirety, let the deities or Devas come here. Let them hear the good teachings of the King of Sages, which gives heaven and release, Nibbana. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. Samanta Chakavalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhammang Munirajasa Sunantu Sakamokadang Dhamma Savanam Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Savanam Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Savanam Kalo Ayang Badanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti Beso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vijacharana Sampanno Sugato Lokavidu Anuttaro Purisa Dhammasarati Satta Deva Manusanang Buddho Bhagavati Swakato Bhagavata Namo Santitiko Akaliko Ehipaseko Opanaiko Pachatang Veditabu Vinohiti Supatipanno Bhagavato Sakasangho Ujupatipanno Bhagavato Sakasangho Nyaya Patipanno Bhagavato Sakasangho Samici Patipanno Bhagavato Sakasangho Yadidang Chattari Purisa Yukani Atta Purisa Pugala Esa Bhagavato Sakasangho Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Dakeneyo Anjali Karaniyo Anutarang Punyang Ketang Lokasati Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Okay, you can be seated. We shall continue from page 91, the aggregates of sense perception. We have finished the aggregates of form. Okay, I will read you the sutra or the commentaries. Ananda, consider the example of someone whose hand and feet are at rest, and whose entire body is at ease. At this moment, he has forgotten about his body, and he is feeling neither comfort nor discomfort. Then for no particular reason, he rubbed the palm of his hand together in the empty space in front of him. And he has the illusionary experience of roughness, of softness, and of cold and hot. You should know that the aggregates of sense perception can be described in a similar way. Now this illusionary sense perception, ananda, do not emerge from space, nor do they emerge from the palms of the person's hand. That is to say, ananda, if space could cause tactile perception in the palm of his hand, would it not equally be able to cause tactile perception elsewhere on his body? But it makes no sense to say that space can cause tactile perception in one part of the body and not another part. If the tactile perception had emerged from the palms of his hand, what need would there have been to rub the palms together in order to produce the perception? Further, if the tactile perception has emerged from the palms of his hand, then the person's palm would have been aware of the perception emerging. And when the person moved his hand apart, the perception would have to sink back into his wrists and arms, into the bones and marrow. We should have to be aware of the path, those perceptions too. In such a case, what the mind perceives is emerging and returning In such a case, when the mind perceives what the mind perceives as emerging and returning would have to be something that was capable of coming and going in the body. If there was such a thing, what need would there have been for the person to rub the palms of his hand together in order to experience this tactile perception? Therefore, you should know that the aggregate of sense perception is an illusion. It does not come into being from causes and conditions, nor does it come into being on its own. It does not come into being from causes and conditions, nor does it come into being on its own. Then the aggregate of cognition. So this one, cognition is actually a form of recognize. It comes from the word recognize. So the Mahayana is using another English translation. So normally for the third one, the third aggregate, you see, the second aggregate is normally called feeling. The first aggregate of form is form, rupa. Then the second aggregate is actually feeling. But here, I don't know why you move back, so they go to sense perception straight away. Aggregate of sense perception is supposed to be feeling. But they use this English translation as sense perception. It's supposed to be sanya. Then cognition is another English word that comes from recognize. So here the aggregate of cognition is normally referred to as sankhara. But the funny thing is, to recognize is to perceive actually. So this one actually should be sanya. Then the other one should be feeling. Then might be read through, then we see how it goes. Maybe they mix up the English. Ananda, consider the example of someone who whose mouth water at the mention of sour plum, or who feel a sudden ache in the sole of his feet as he thinks of walking along the edge of a, what is this word? Precipice. What is the meaning? Oh, okay. You should know that the aggregate of cognition can be described in a similar term. Now, the circumstances of the mouth watering at the mention of sour plum, Ananda, was not caused by the actual plum that were mentioned, nor was it caused by the person's mouth. Why? If the mouth water because of the actual plum, Ananda, that would mean that the plum were responsible for mentioning themselves. What need would there be further up? For some person to mention them? On the other hand, if the mouth were responsible for the watering, would that mean that the mouth heard the plum being mentioned? Were not ears needed for that? If the ears were the cause, then would that not mean that the ear could produce saliva? The same point about watering of the mouth and the mention of a sour plum can be equally applied to the ache that is felt at the edge of one's foot when one thinks of walking along the edge of a precipice. Therefore, you should know that the aggregates of cognition is an illusion. It does not come into being from causes and conditions, nor does it come into being on its own. Then the aggregate of mental formation. I think they mix it up pretty. Mental formation is the fourth aggregate, which is sankhara. So just now one should be perception, the cognition. Then the sense perception that they use is wrong, actually is feeling, is sensation. Ananda, consider the example of a stretch of rapids. The wave follow one upon another, and those that once are behind never overtake those that are ahead. You should know that the aggregates of mental formation can be described in a similar manner. Now the rapids are not brought about by space, Ananda, nor are they brought about by the water itself. They are not identical to the water. But though they are not themselves the water, they are at the same time not separate from water, nor are they separate from space. Understand it this way, Ananda. If the rapids were brought about by space, then that would mean that space in its infinite reach throughout the 10 directions would be a ceaseless divulge, and that the entire universe would inevitably be drowned. If the rapids were brought about by the water, then the nature of the rapid would not be the same as the nature of water. The rapid and the water would be separate and distinct, but clearly they are not. On the other hand, if the rapids and the water were identical, then when the water becomes still, it will cease to be water. However, the rapids and the water cannot be separate either, since there can be no rapid without water, nor can the rapid be separated from space, since outside of space nothing exists. Okay, move on. In this way, you should know that the aggregates of mental formation is an illusion. It does not come into being from causes and conditions, nor does it come into beings on its own. Okay, number 5, the 5th aggregate of consciousness. Ananda consider the example of a person who takes up an empty pitcher and plucks out its two sprouts so that it seems he has confined some space in the pitcher. Believing that he is carrying this pitcher or space, he travels 1,000 miles to another country with the intention of making a present of it. You should know that the aggregates of consciousness can be described in a similar term. The space that is in the pitcher, Ananda, does not in fact come from the place where the person began his journey, nor is it transported to the country he travels to. It is like this, Ananda. If the space has been transported from first country by being confined to the pitcher, there must have been a loss of space in the place where the pitcher has come from. Moreover, if the space has been brought to the second country, then if the sprout were unplugged and the pitcher turned upside down, the space within it would have been seen to pour out. In this way, you should know that the aggregates of consciousness is an illusion. It does not come into being from causes and conditions, nor does it come into being on its own. Move up. Oh, okay. So just now that one, after I read, I also feel confused. I don't understand what he's trying to tell. He is trying to explain to you the illusionary characteristics of defined aggregates. But the way Hsuan described, I cannot really follow and understand. But I use my own way, which is easier. He says this 5 aggregates of form and mind, like what I have been teaching you all this while, they actually belongs to the what they call segmented being that arise. So for our case as a human being, we have a few human form, which is the physical form. Then we have the aggregates of mind, that is feeling, perception, activity of mind, then consciousness. This is what our mind can do. It can manifest feeling. So feeling is a sensation that arises and passes away dependent on causes and conditions. But these causes and conditions, as they manifest, they actually are illusionary. Why are they illusionary? Because feeling is not you. Feeling is dependent conditioning, causal phenomena. When there is sense basis, when there is this sense data coming, like hot and cold, pleasant, unpleasant, or whatever, it's the mind that perceives. So feeling becomes a sensation through our memory, our brain, our knowledge and all these things. But that ability to sense, that pure feeling, is what the aggregate of mind is, before it becomes a sensation. So feeling is actually just sensation, pure feeling, pure sensation. Then when feelings stir, it becomes emotion. So all this when you see it clearly as dependent originating, means you know it's impermanent, not a permanent unchanging entity that you can cling on to, grasp on to, hold on to, and say this is me, this is I, this is my feeling. But in actual fact, there is no such thing. Because as we all know, when feeling arises and pass away, you didn't die. So how can feeling be you? That's why feeling is an aggregate of mind that is dependent originating. It is dependent originating because it has the characteristics of impermanent, where we live in a conditioned world. So for form, it's easier. We can actually see form, perceive form, whether it's physical form, external form, through our perception or whatever. So all these forms, they are also dependent originating, condition arising, not a permanent unchanging entity. That's why ultimately it's empty. So empty means it's an illusionary manifestation, empty nature of existence. So for form, like I explained to you, you must learn how to see form through our ability to perceive it. Then what you see is actually either external form or mental form, the second aspect. So all these forms, they have their causes and conditions for their arising. Like sound, my voice, you need my speech, which come from the vibration. So these are causes and conditions, dependent originating, condition arising. Then like this table or the block cut I have explained. Is it real? Because they are dependent originating, dependent on condition they arise. As real as they can be, they are supported by causes and conditions. When these causes and conditions cease to be, they cease to be. That's why it's an illusion, not a reality. Then how do you know that it is a table, a block cut? Through our mental perception, which is an image, which is even more unreal. Where externally is already dependent originating, condition arising, like the block cut analogy. Then how do you know it's a block cut? Just an image within our brain, our memory. So this image is even more unreal. At least externally, when you perceive the external form, is more solid, more tangible. But how do you know is that form? Through memory, through sense perception, through a mental image that you perceive through your brain, your memory, your knowledge, your conditioning. So in this way, you understand it is easier to see the non-self or empty nature of the five aggregates of form and mind. But the Buddha, under the Anatta Lakkhana Sutta, he explained it slightly different, but also fairly good. Because he used it as the five aggregate. If it tends towards suffering, is it right to say it is you? It is self. Because if it's you, if it's self, then it does not go that way, the way of nature. It does not tend towards suffering. Then he used a few more examples to finally let you understand that these five aggregate of form and mind, they have the characteristics of impermanent. You want things your way, it will end up suffering. Because when things don't go your way, following the nature's law, instead of your desire, your whatever craving, then suffering will be the result. Then because it's impermanent, it cannot be a permanent, unchanging entity for you to cling on to, hold on to, and grasp on to. That's why it tends towards suffering. You cannot want things your way. When you cannot get what you want, you suffer. So all these explanations are actually clearer and better. So we just make a note, then we move on. Okay, the next part is the 6 faculties. Means our 6 senses, our ability to be conscious of the senses. The 6 faculties are the matrix of the Taskam one. Means from that nature it manifests. The eye faculty means the seeing consciousness. Moreover, Ananda, how is it that fundamentally the 6 faculties are the matrix of the Taskam one, whose nature is the wondrous suchness of reality? Ananda, you will recall the example of a person who stares into space to the point that his eye becomes strained. What the eye faculty perceives when it is under strain, and also the eye faculty itself comes into being through the strain placed on the awakened mind. The strain causes the distortion in perception. For seeing to take place, the illusionary phenomena of light and darkness must first enter the eye faculty. This is what we call seeing. Apart from light and darkness, seeing has no ultimate basis. Understand it this way. Ananda, what we can see, what we call seeing, does not take place because of light and darkness, nor because of the eye faculty, nor because of space. Why? If what is called seeing take place because of light, it will cease in total darkness, and you would not see the darkness. If it took place because of darkness, it will cease once the light were present, and so you would not see the light. Furthermore, seeing cannot take place because of the eye faculty, because clearly there is a need for the light or for the darkness if seeing is to occur. It follows that the eye faculty has no independent existence. Finally, if seeing takes place because of space, then when we look straight ahead, we would see the object before us as usual. But we would also be able to look back on our own eye from space. If space were doing the seeing, what would seeing have to do with the eye faculty? In this way, you should know that the eye faculty is illusionary. It does not come into being from causes and conditions, nor does it come into being on its own. This one again I think is very confusing, because to understand it very easily is, like I explained to you last time, the eye alone doesn't see. You can understand it. We are the dead man with the eye open, cannot see. So when you are asleep, your eye is open, it also cannot see. Then the blind person, without eye, with the mind alone also does not see. So, eye alone cannot see, mind alone cannot see, where a dead person also with the eye cannot see. Then The blind man with the mind, without the organ, he also cannot see. So how the seeing comes about? The seeing arises through causes and conditions. Means without causes and conditions, there is no seeing consciousness. And in the seeing, like the Buddha said, it's only the seeing consciousness. There is no one to see. So the understanding is all the three causes and conditions that can trigger the seeing consciousness need to be there. Means you must have the sense basis, any of the six. Then you must have the respective sense data coming in. Yeah? Like for seeing to arise, the sense data is color, shape and form. For you to develop the seeing consciousness. Then there must be a conscious mind or consciousness that come into contact with the sense basis and the external sense data. So seeing is dependent originating, condition arising, causal phenomena. That's why in the seeing, like the physics experiment, only the conscious moment manifests, that seeing consciousness. Then after that, all the activity from the mundane mind, from the memory, the conditioning, the belief system, etc., how they actually create the movement and how living beings, through their knowledge, memory, etc., views, opinion, conditioning, belief system, input the content of consciousness and trigger it to become a thought. From the spacious awareness it shrinks to the small perception. Then the content of consciousness went in, then it triggers the thought. So the thought will have its content, and that content will carry its mental intention, the views, the opinion, conditioning, belief system, etc. So if you don't have wisdom, then that part, moral and immoral content, will manifest. That's why in the Abhidhamma they describe it as kusala and akusala chitta. Kusala means wholesome, akusala means unwholesome. So in that way it's easier to understand that all these sense faculty, they are dependent originating. All the causes and conditions must be there. Okay, we skip the rest. We move it up. So we have gone through seeing consciousness. Then hearing consciousness is the same. Then up, move up. Then the nose. Hey, wait, how come he got talk about the poem? Okay, I go back, I read through. Yeah, this fellow very confusing. Now he bring this one out. Okay, the ear faculty. Ananda, consider the example of a person who forcefully stop up his ear with his finger. The strain exerted on the ear faculty may cause a sound to be heard inside his head. What the ear faculty perceives when it is under strain, and also the ear faculty itself, comes about through the strain pressed on the awakened mind. The strain causes the distortion in perception. For hearing to take place, the illusionary phenomena of sound and silence must enter the ear faculty. This is what we call hearing. So here the word illusionary phenomena means condition arising phenomena. Apart from sound and silence, hearing has no ultimate basis. Understand it this way. Ananda, what we call hearing does not take place because of sound or silence, nor because of the ear faculty, nor because of the space. Why? If it takes place because of silence, it will cease once sound were present, and so it would not hear sound. If what we call hearing took place because of sound, hearing would cease in totally silence, and we would not be aware of the silence. Further, hearing cannot take place because of the ear faculty alone, because clearly there is a need for sound, for silence, if hearing is to occur. It follows that the ear faculty has no independent existence. Finally, if hearing took place because of space, then space would not be what we call space, where it would have the ability to hear. And if space could hear, what would hearing have to do with the ear faculty? In this way, you should know that the ear faculty is illusory. It does not come into being from causes and conditions, nor does it come into being on its own. Okay, then we go to commentaries. Hearing occurs through, there he used the word dependence on the two illusionary, perceived objects of sound and silence. Hearing and seeing are like magnets. The eyes look at things and become unclear. The ear attracts sound and become unclear. Our true nature is fundamentally pure, but because of the eye and ear attracts unclean external object, our true nature becomes unclean also. Actually, the word should be defiled. It's like inhaling cigarette smoke, which passes into the lung, and although ordinary people cannot see into their own inside, the fact remains that the throat, windpipe, and the lungs become coated with tar. In the same way, sight and sound are taken in and coat. Actually, should be cloud, our true nature, with a kind of tar that covers it over and obscure its light, as recorded in the sixth patriarch Dhamma Sutra. Oh, he quoted this because of the analogy. So, Sun Xiu say, the body is like a bohi tree. The mind a big mirror's bright on the stand. Actually, there is a Monday mind. It must be white and clean day and day. Polish it until it shines so that no dust can alight. Actually, this verse is a fine expression of what needs to be done. But these are not the words of one who has become aware of their true nature. Great Master Sun Xiu's verse describes practice at a stage prior to the seeing of one's true nature. That's why he is at the gate of enlightenment, but he has not ceased and realized it. It likens practice to dusting a mirror over and over again to keep it clean. After Sun Xiu composed the verse, the sixth patriarch, the great Master Huineng, replied with the following verse. Bohi is not a tree. The mirror bright on the stand, that is the mundane mind. The true mind got none of this. For originally there is nothing, where can the dust alight? So Master Huineng was already enlightened, and so he no longer need to do the work of dusting the mirror. Okay, move up. I think this nose faculty all the same. Just skip it. Skip it. Then the tongue also skip. Move up. for detector. Okay, skip. Cognitive. Okay, this one also skip. Okay, the 12 sides are the matrix of the Tascam one. So these all are the pair, the eye faculty and the sense data. Or here they use the word visible object. Moreover, Ananda, how is it that fundamentally the 12 sides are the matrix of the Tascam one, whose nature is the wondrous suchness of reality? Ananda, look once again at the fountain, the pool, the trees of the Prince Jethro Grove. What do you think? Does the presence of visible object cause your eye faculty to see, or to the contrary, does the eye faculty cause the visible object to be present? Ananda, if the eye faculty causes the presence of visible object, then when you look at the empty sky, in which no visible objects are present, all the visible object that you were not looking at would have to disappear. If everything were to disappear, such that nothing were present, then how would you know what space is? The corollary supposition that space is present because of your eye faculty and is there to see it can be similarly rejected. I think we can omit all this. Move on. This is Shen Hua's way of explaining. Actually, it's the 18th sense rhyme. Move on, until F. After F. Okay. Then he combined the whole thing now. The 18 constituents are the matrix of the Tascam one. The word should be the coming into being of seeing consciousness or eye consciousness. Moreover, Ananda, how is it that fundamentally the 18 constituents are the matrix of the Tascam one, which is the wondrous suchness of reality? Ananda, according to your understanding of it, the eye faculty, the physical object are the condition for the coming into being of the seeing consciousness. But does this consciousness come into being from the eye, such that it is restricted by the boundary of the eye faculty, or does it come into being from visible object, such that it is restricted by the boundaries of visible object? Then I read on. The 18 constituents are the 3 sets of 6. Okay. The 6 faculties are matched to their 6 sense object, and between them are produced the 6 types of consciousness. The consciousness are what make distinction. Does the eye see visible object and distinguish them as being attractive or unattractive? With the ear, it is the same. They hear sound as pleasant and unpleasant, or pleasing and displeasing. Visible object, sound, odor, flavor, and object of touch all have physical attribute. Only object of cognition lack physical attribute. Nevertheless, when the cognitive faculty is meshed with object of cognition, distinction are made in the mind. Yes, the discrimination, discriminative consciousness. Thus the mind also as consciousness. Okay. So this one I think we can skip. It's all repeated. Move up, move up. Move up. Also same, we move up until F. Go until F. Further. Move it up further. Okay. Okay. This one is a 7 universal primary elements. The matrix of the Taskam one. Ananda said to the Buddha, "Well honored one, the Taskam one has often discussed causes and conditions and aggregating and merging. He has shown that the various phenomena that we see in the world are caused by the merging and aggregating of the 4 primary elements. Why has the Taskam one now rejected causes and conditions and self-explanation? And self-generation as explanation? I cannot reconcile this idea with the Buddha's previous teaching. Only pity us and instruct us and all beings how to know the ultimate truth of the middle way, teaching us the Dhamma that is not mere words, devoid of meaning." Okay, then the explanation. People's body are a combination of 4 primary elements, which are the earth element, water element, fire element, and the wind element. The places in our body which are hard and solid belongs to the earth element. The warmness of our body belongs to the fire element. Saliva, tears and mucus belong to the element of water. Our breath belongs to the wind element. While we are alive, our body is under our control. But after we die, these 4 primary elements disperse. The warmth of the body return to the primary element of fire. The moisture return to the primary element of water. Then the solidity part return to the primary elements of earth element. And similarly, the breath return to the primary wind element. People who do not understand about the body want to help the body in all that it does. What they don't understand or know is that in this way their true nature becomes slave to an illusionary form. Every day they are confused as they toil and rush about desperately. Ultimately, what is it all for? Ultimately, what meaning is there in it? If one asks people this question, they act like Ananda, mouth agape and speechless. They can't come up with a reason, because people does not understand about the body. They spend all their energy on a lifeless thing. They doesn't work on behalf of what is really alive. What dead thing am I referring to? Although we are still alive, our body may be considered already dead. What living thing am I referring to? Although we are not aware that it's alive, our spirit is young and full of life. It is our inherent nature, or Buddha nature. But people doesn't know that they should investigate their own Buddha nature, and they work instead on behalf of their body, such that their body control them from morning till night. They help the body get good things to eat and find clothing to wear. Just what is the body anyway? It isn't anything to grasp onto. Doesn't look upon it as important. Because even though you can't give up your attachment to it, when you die and the four element quality disperse, you will have to let go completely. The world-honored one then said to Ananda, since you have renounced the teaching of the lesser vehicle, means the provisional teaching of the sound hearer, and realize the supreme awakening, of the sound hearer and the solitary sages, means the Pachika Buddha vehicle. And since you have resolved to strive diligently to realize the supreme vehicle awakening, I will now instruct you in the ultimate truth. You need no longer blind yourself up with words, bind yourself up with words that are devoid of meaning, and with distorted thinking about causes and conditions. You are very learned, but you are like someone who can discuss medicine, yet cannot identify them when they are actually set before you. The task of one says that you are indeed to be pitied. Listen carefully now, for your sake and for the sake of all who in the future will undertake the Bodhisattva journey. I will explain in detail how you can come to thoroughly understand the ultimate truth. Ananda was silent and waited for the Buddha's enlightened instruction. Ananda, according to what you had said, the merging and aggregating of four elements, the four primary elements, brings about the various phenomena that are found in the world and that are subject to change. Let us suppose, Ananda, that the primary element have separate essential nature that cannot aggregate or merge. In that case, their external attributes too could not aggregate or merge any more than space can aggregate or merge with perceived object. Suppose on the other hand that the essential nature of the primary elements can aggregate and merge, then their aggregating and merging would not differ from the various changes that take place in the world and that cause things to arise and perish through an unending process of coming into being and ceasing to be. Move it up. Beings too are born and die, and having died, they are born again, forever coming into life and perishing again. Ananda, like a torch that is swung endlessly in a circle to form a wheel of light, or like water that turns to ice and then become water again. Okay, I will read the commentaries. Ananda should know that the suchness of reality conforms to circumstances, yet does not change. It does not change, yet conform to circumstances. How is that explained? The suchness of reality, which is also called the matrix of the Taskamon, and our true mind. It's like water that becomes ice. That is, it conforms to circumstances. Just as water can turn into ice when it's cold, but the ice can also melt, become water again. Enlightenment is like water. Affliction is like ice. If you were to pour a bowl of water over someone's head, he wouldn't feel any pain. But if you hit someone over the head with a piece of ice, you might even kill him. Ice and water are actually the same thing, but water in its solid form can kill people, while in its liquid form it supports life. Because of this, affliction is compared to ice. Full awakening is compared to water. The Buddha Sutra says that affliction is actually full awakening, just as ice is actually water. You doesn't add anything to water to make ice, and you don't have to add anything to ice to produce water. The potential to become ice is already in the water, and the potential to become water is already in the ice. Thus the sutta here speaks of ice becoming water again. But in order to turn your ice into water, you have to develop a certain amount of skill. You have to use young light to illuminate it. Then the ice can turn into water. This refers to your daily practice of meditation in stillness, which can illuminate your affliction so that they turn into water. Actually, all this analogy are used to express what the metric of the Taskamon means, the Buddha nature. It is not the Buddha nature that can transform into this and transform into that. It's because all this that manifests, like the four circle formation, from the Buddha nature, the first to arise is the pure awareness. That one is the unconditioned. But from there, it manifests the mundane mind, the five aggregate of form and mind, then the phenomenal world of consciousness. So all these manifestations, they actually manifest from there. That's why they use the analogy that nature, the Buddha nature, or the matrix of the Taskamon, is when it becomes water, it can support life. When it becomes ice, it can kill, it can harm and all things. But those are analogy that is being used. Actually, the Buddha nature never do any of this. All these are nature's law, the physical law of nature, that manifest and transform. That's why the conditioned Dhamma and the unconditioned Dhamma, they are two separate entities. And you have to use the direct seeing, awareness-based meditation to insight in the phenomena and to realize their universal characteristic, to comprehend and understand. Okay? Then we go back. A primary earth element. Let us consider the nature of primary earth element. It may take as large a form as the continent and a small form as a mote of dust. In its most subtle aspect, the primary element earth appears as particles that are so fine that they can hardly be distinguished from space itself. If these minute particles were divided further into 7 parts, they would then be as small as perceived object can be. If they were divided yet further, nothing would be left but space. Now, if this most minute particle could be divided until they become space. Ananda, then space, would be capable of bringing perceived object into being. You asked just now whether the various phenomena that we see in the world are caused by merging or aggregating of the four elemental qualities. You should see that space, in whatever amount, could never be accumulated in order to bring into being even a single one of these most minute particles. Nor can it be true that these most minute particles are created by the particles themselves. Further, if this most minute particle could be divided to assume the nature of space, then conversely, how many such particles must be aggregated to bring space into being? In fact, when perceived objects are aggregated and merged, they do not become space, and when space accumulates, it does not become perceived object. Besides, although perceived object can indeed be divided, how can space be accumulated? You simply do not know that in the matrix of the Tascam One, the real nature of the primary object of element earth is identical to the real nature of emptiness. The real nature of primary element earth is fundamentally pure and extends throughout the Dhamma rhyme. The extent to which beings are aware of the real nature depends on the capacity of the understanding. The primary element of earth appears to them in accord with their karma. Ordinary beings in their ignorance mistakenly suppose that the primary element earth comes into being from causes and conditions, or that it comes into being on its own. These are distinctions and constructs made by the conscious mind. They are mere words devoid of meaning. Okay, I think we can skip all this because the way they explain it is based on maybe Shenhua's understanding. Go some more. Wind element. After that, what else? Oh, okay. Maybe we stop here. We stop here. F, the primary element of awareness. Just relax body and mind, maintain awareness, then stabilize the awareness. Then for those who have developed the stability of the first three support, you can go to the fourth support to develop the trust. Okay, I will set the alarm, 45 minutes. You can slowly, mindfully come out of the meditation. Try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness that you have developed for as long as you can. Okay, now we'll come back to second session, which is the meditation reporting, followed by whatever question that you may have. You can ask.
Good afternoon, Brother Teo, Mrs. Teo, and Yamitas.
Yeah.
Brother Teo, I have two things to share.
Good. Wai Fun.
One is meditation reporting, and another one is book reading experience.
Good. Very
So
good.
for the meditation reporting, it happened a couple of days ago at Lotus Sutra class at your house.
Yes.
So that day, my meditation, I felt very quiet and
Oh, very
very
good.
fast. I can
Settle down.
settle down.
Ah.
And that day, I think I sat for almost 1 hour plus.
Wow, very good. Very
Uh,
good. Sadhu.
then during the sitting, suddenly
Ah.
I felt this warm in my abdomen.
Oh, very good.
Then normally I feel the warm inside me, but this round, the warm is outside my abdomen and
Now
it's
my,
like surrounding me or
oh, very good.
surrounding my abdomen like one ring like that
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
some time.
Oh, okay.
So of course it happened first time, then my thought went there, the hit no more lah.
Oh, okay.
And then after a while, I remember Bharatio say, whatever happened during meditation, we need to relax,
Yeah, relax into it. Just silent.
maintain
Maintain
awareness.
awareness.
Yeah.
Silent. You
So
relax into it, you will actually develop deeper. Develop means no interference. Then it will develop into very more deeper state. I should say the word is like it become more easy for it to develop. So that heat that you feel like a ring, that one can manifest. When it manifests, it's very good. Where it's for you to experience when sati develops. It can be aware of all this manifestation and movement. But you will know one, because your mind will suddenly like settle down very fast. Then you develop the quietness, the peacefulness, the tranquility, the stillness very fast. And then when this phenomena arise, especially for you, for the first few times when it arises, you just relax into it and maintain awareness. Then you can develop the joy after that. Then what will happen also, you can just relax, maintain awareness and smile with the joy. Then after that, silence everything and continue to allow it to be. Means that the witnessing will give rise to the understanding of what happened. So that witnessing is actually deeper than somebody experiencing that state. Where when you experience that state, most people are not aware, not mindful. So when you're silent and allow that thing to continue, then it will develop into deeper understanding. Then when you come out of it, you will develop your own understanding. And most of these movements are due to your transformed mind state. Then it's unique to you because your physical formation or the way you develop your practice is from the past. It will come. Then it will manifest in whatever some will feel the heat arising from inside. Yours is outside, which is also good. Whatever it is, just relax, silence everything, and continue to allow it to be. You can have that smiling joy inside you, and allow it to be. Continue to relax, silent. Because when you can smile, that joy actually is a type of pity, is an enlightenment factor that can help you develop deeper understanding. Very good. Then what happened after that?
After that, I relax, like Bharatio said, I relax, maintain awareness, then it come back second time.
Oh, good.
So it come back second time, it lasts a bit longer. Then
Good.
after that, it goes off no more already.
Don't worry, it will come, it will go. But when you experience it, it's very good because that mind that experiences it initially is silent. Then with the awareness, it starts to understand what that thing is. Then the description and all those things will naturally arise. But when you are in that state, remember to continue to silent, relax. Then you can smile, develop the joy, the pity is good. Then allow it to be. So the second time it will last longer, very good, which means you know how to actually let it be and experience it through the silent mind. So the experiencing through the silent mind is deeper than the normal experiencing that human being through their senses experience. When you are silent, you actually witness. Witness means aware. And through the witnessing, the awareness also can develop the understanding of what is experienced by the conscious mind, by the pure awareness nature. Then, like I always say, meditation is to silence the nature, to actually allow it to observe, see, witness, and insight into phenomena or awaken. Then all this understanding, when you are completely silent, it will unfold and it will manifest. Then as you continue to experience all this, you become skillful in it. Skillful in it means you can understand very well what is going on within your own form and mind, and how their ability to relax and maintain awareness can lead to deep progress of awareness-based meditation. Then the transformation will happen. Then later on, as this abdomen area energy develop, it can also activate your Dantian area, the chakra. But let it happen naturally. Let it happen naturally. Then it will be very beautiful. Then you will develop a lot of energy. Then when that so-called Dantian energy, the Dantian chakra, when it releases its energy from within, not external, then you have a lot of very strong, what they call pure energy. But this energy, you must know how to actually bring about the equanimity. Means your Dhamma understanding must also follow. When your Dhamma understanding follow, then your yin-yang will be balanced. Yin-yang balance means your mind does not oscillate that much between the two extremes of like and dislike. Means that so-called yin and yang are the two extremes of a equanimous mind that has balance between the yin energy and the yang energy, because the so-called Tao, they call it the Tao, is in a state of balance. When it's in the state of balance, it means there is no yin-yang imbalance. So, when there is no yin-yang imbalance, your physical body, your mental, your health, everything, they'll be like at the optimum level, which means you have very good body and mind. So normally, initially, for cultivators who go through this awareness-based meditation, they will achieve this yin-yang balance quite fast, especially when their Dhamma understanding has progressed. Then, when they no longer react to sense experience like before, means that stirring of the mind, reaction, the emotion, it has become a lot less. And most of the time, the understanding take over. Like that day, your husband, Brother Chan, he asked about what is Yoniso Manasikara. By then, you would have the understanding. Well, this Yoniso Manasikara is a Dhamma understanding that was spontaneously manifest upon sense or experience with every arising of what they call thought activity, every moment of sense experience, whether it's seeing, hearing, smell, taste, tactile, or thought activity. Sankhara movement, it will not stir. Or even if it stirs, it's a lot less already. And most of the time, when the Yoniso Manasikara manifests, there is understanding that can trigger off the what they call non-reactive movement. Means you can accept whatever arises. It's just like things is just the way they are, condition and that things will like. Then you are at peace. Then sabbe sankhara anicca. Then you know, no point thinking. You think also like that, don't think also like that. Then you will cease. Then sabbe sankhara dukkha means all sankhara lead to suffering. When you cling, you grasp. When you want things your way, which is not in accordance with nature's condition. Then all this understanding will become clearer and clearer, more and more stable. Then he know you, he know me. Mighty nature rolling by. So all this understanding, they were developed. Then, like some of the Kayamita went through in video early on, when they start to develop the ability to see things as they are, the direct see, they realize the word is not there, the concept is not there, then everything is very light. Then it's like the mind is different already. The mind doesn't get itself entangled with things already. So previously, certain things that habitually can condition your fear or worry or anxiety or anger or dislike, that habitual tendency like no longer arise already. It's like, how come you all will realize like what Cindy went through last night? Hey, your behavior all totally different. Where the understanding free you. So this ability to develop this awareness-based meditation through silently observing whatever arises and manifests, together with the straightening of view after you have listened to the true Dhamma or read, contemplate, reflect, all this will develop the stability of understanding, or we call Yoniso Manasikara, which will prompt you at the moment of sense experience. Then later on it can go into your subconscious and your unconscious moment even when you sleep. When you sleep, it will become different. Then as you develop the stability of awareness-based meditation, then you can move into the fourth support, which is silencing the mind and stay at the heart. Trust that nature to develop the movement. Then when you can locate the gateway to your nature, you will progress even faster. Then all the external yin-yang energy, they will like melt through your gateway to become pure energy to activate the internal movement and chakra. So during this phase, your internal transformation will actually lead to the what they call pure energy doing the work for you. Then you will release a lot of like unnecessary toxin. I call it toxin, but it's not really poison or what. It's like the byproduct which is not supposed to be there. It will just create that byproduct and transform your physical body into like perfectly tuned body, like a car, very well tuned, no more problem, no more like very little friction and all those things. Then your transformation will slowly lead to the transformation of consciousness. This consciousness will become more and more refined, more and more refined, more and more refined, until the mundane mind one day can just collapse. Because once the pure energy develop the movement and transformation, your internal nature's vibration and energy becomes so pure, so fine, that the mundane mind cannot stay there. So the mundane mind has to collapse actually. So when the collapse of the mundane mind happens, that is how your nature shine forth, your true Buddha nature or pure awareness nature. They just shine forth like the sun's ray when the cloud disperse, when all those things that obscure and obstruct the sun's ray from entering, disperse. So our case is different. The sankhara, the mind state, the mundane thinking, thought activity, that feeling, that emotion, that whatever sankhara manifestation is like images or even mind states, even your planning, scheming, all this activity, it will cease. Because you know they have no meaning. Then when all this clear, you no longer like have fear, worry, anxiety, you no longer have sankhara activity, you no longer think, then that clarity shine forth from the nature, that pure awareness nature shine forth. That is like, for the first time in your life, you realize that thing. How come so amazing? That nature is so different. But that will happen much later for those who do the fourth support. So all this, they have their possibility and efficacy. So have faith, continue to develop it, then it will help you. You continue, Wai Fun, yeah.
The day after the meditation, after I exit the meditation, then I listen to Brother Teo's sharing attentively. Then got one part, Brother Teo share about Aditana.
Sadhu.
So when Brother Teo share about the Aditana, I felt inside me also very firm, want to do Aditana, to walk this path or
That resolve inside your nature.
Yes.
Very good, Sadhu.
First time I felt that.
Means your nature has connect back to realize that this is very important. That's why go and do. Go and silence all your merits for causes and conditions to go this way, the Bodhisattva way. Then also the asking for forgiveness, all those things. You do it, the repentance. Then after that, affinity with Triple Gem and the right view to aspire for causes and conditions for you to continuously, life after life, whenever you choose to come or you have to come, this understanding will be with you. Not only limited to the few that I taught you all, the five aggregate of form and mind, then why is it not a permanent unchanging entity? It is a karmically conditioned form and mind, segmented form and mind for you to come to the existence you are. Not only that one, including all the teaching that I have shared with you all through the Lotus Sutra, the Surangama Sutra, and also the four circle formation. You contemplate and develop clear, stable understanding that you are done for this type of understanding life after life, whenever you have to come or you choose to come. Then all this will be planted deep in your nature, which is the Bodhi mind. And this bodhisattva that is being planted with faith, understanding, and perseverance. They will activate on its own when the time comes. In the future, when you are taking that segmented life rebirth, it will come out and do all the movement, and it will prepare you to receive truth and to have back all this understanding. And it can come in very, I should say, amazing and wonderful way. Because everybody is different. Like my case, when I was very young, I was very small. My parents realized I am so different from all the 8 other brothers and sisters. Then I very quiet one. And I think until the age of 4 years old, I hardly talk one, but I have a lot of smile, joy, very naive type of looking. And they like me. They find me very adorable. Then as I grew up, I recall back, until the age of 5 years old, I was without any thought one, until they transferred me back to a notorious small town near Alasta where I supposed to go to school. I remember at the age of 6 only I started to develop the contamination of my mundane mind. Then after that, a lot of things manifest for me to see in between. All because of this adhittana and my understanding of the Dhamma. Then actually all this adhittana, or what we call aspiration or vows and understanding actually brought forth the causes and conditions for my nature to arise in this manner, in this segmented life, because of the long period of cultivation and understanding. So for your case, this one can actually help you, so that in future you can get all this understanding, like connected early. The earlier you connect, actually, the more beautiful it becomes. Then when you come, you can actually develop the understanding and the realization very easily and very fast. Like this segmented life, at the age of 35, exactly 1989, where I was born in 54. So at the age of 35, I connect, my nature connect. Then I realized, then I started to inherit back a lot of my spiritual understanding. Then I remember within 9 months after my for support, I went in and do it. After I detected the gateway, the Monday mind collapsed. After the Monday mind collapsed, I became so different. Then I start to inherit a lot of things. Then I start to understand a lot of the Dhamma and the understanding of the teaching that I never learned this life. Then how did I understand all this? That's why I can teach all the so-called Mahayana teaching. It's because of the past cultivation. So adhittana is one of my specialty, my nature's specialty. I have perfected that parami for very long. And I know how to use it very well. That's why you can experience that it's very good. Maintain that faith and follow that instruction. And that strong resolve inside there to go all out. So very good. So you should actually start to prepare and develop all this adhittana. It will help a lot. Then how to, then I add in one last part. How to develop adhittana, line after line, to cultivate special affinity with all the great beings and Sammasambuddha. like what Puja or Universal Virtue Bodhisattva, Samantra Bhadra Bodhisattva. Her vow is universal. And he always vowed to invite the Sammasambuddha to come out to teach and to continue to remain in the world, to share and to teach. And every respect is to all the great beings of the 3 period of time and all those things. So all these are very good understanding, and you can get the inspiration from all these great beings, Sammasambuddha. Sometimes you Google and look at their vows. If their vows really match your condition and you love it, you want to have that out of love and compassion, and also uniqueness of your nature. That is what you want. Then you adhitan to have that. Then you add into your 4 basic vows as miscellaneous vow. And all this, they will develop and build up as you walk the path of the Supreme Vehicle. Very good, yeah. Wai Fun, you continue.
Thank you, Brother Teo. Thank you, Brother Teo, for sharing how to do Aditan, because for me, I only have the 4 basic vow so far.
Don't worry. Don't worry. Your Aditan can be for your progress, like I said, the yellow card.
Yes.
Then you add in those things that you have learned, the 4 circle formation, understanding, all those things. You develop it, that one first. Then later on, affinity with great beings, or it's an extension of it, you will know how to do one. That's why as you cultivate the Bodhisattva way, the Supreme Vehicle teaching, as you progress, all these are like an extension of the understanding. Because as you develop more understanding and meet up with more and more of these great beings, their unique understanding they can share with you. Then you can take it, and you become like more exposed in the understanding of this cultivation and this Supreme Vehicle teaching. Then you become different. Then as you cultivate, as you go through this segmented birth and death for eons and eons of cultivation, that wealth of extensive experience and understanding that you have developed through your cultivation will prepare you to have all this understanding. That's why the cultivation is very wonderful, very rewarding, is because of that. Wonderful in the sense that every life you come with this type of understanding, then you actually able to connect. Then you actually able to receive whatever karmic nature inheritance and the spiritual nature's inheritance, until you more or less reach back to the level you are from the past. Then you continue your cultivation and develop it further. Like this life, my nature continue with the cultivation, perfection, and fulfillment of its vow. Then the more you benefit living beings, the more you share, the more you will be rewarded through the nature's law. And all this can become very beautiful, very meaningful, and very wonderful. That's why when you realize through emptiness the deeper aspect of the Dhamma, in fact the deepest is emptiness itself. That nature is empty. But from emptiness, all things arise. Then to emptiness, all things return. That's why from the basis of understanding that singularity or oneness nature, the true empty nature of existence, and how the mind right creation, formation can manifest from there. That is the most wonderful and rewarding experience that form a mind or living being can actually come to understand through this supreme vehicle, birth and death process. Very good, Sadhu.
Then after Tuesday class, and I have this firm affirmation inside me. Then the next day, either on Wednesday or Thursday, when I woke up, I got something like this message that need to be hitful. Need to be hitful for the whole day,
Yeah.
So
that one is
that
very
message
important.
came. So
Then
I
you
was very happy,
determine to stabilize that daily mindfulness. Once that one is done, say stabilized, you will progress very fast. Then Chan will also follow you. You all both are very good, very close. You have faith. Sadhu, very good.
Okay. Then second part, I would like to share my book reading experience. On the recent Tuesday class, before Chan and I, before we head to your class, we stopped by this Mega Rice Mall. Because it's still early. We had our dinner already, and look at the time, still early, we stopped by that mall. So because we don't have much to do, so we just sat at the bench for about half an hour, waiting for the time to drive to your place. So while sitting on the bench, I felt I silenced my mind. Then I took out one book. Somehow I bring along one book by you, transcript on emptiness, right? I bring along in my handbag, so I took this book and read. So when I read about this non-self, when I read about this phenomena world of consciousness, they are all condition arising, causal phenomena, not a permanent, unchanging entity. Suddenly this deep understanding comes inside me. No wonder it's called non-self, and no wonder it's anatta. Well, I was very happy, suddenly I have a shift in my understanding.
Yeah. That's why when you are in that quiet moment, then when you read from the heart with understanding, it will just go in. Then the causes and condition when it's ready, this penetrating understanding is like the aha moment. They call it the aha moment. Suddenly like your nature awakened. And it's very deep, very profound, full of joy. Wow, Sadhu, very good.
Then I realized no wonder it's called non-self.
Yeah.
And it's because it's not a self.
Yes.
Then no wonder a person that is not a self, they have egoic mind arise, then condition duality, condition three evil root arise, all the wrong thought comes in, then the suffering will arise eventually to First Noble Truth. Wow, I was very happy, Radyo.
Yeah. Means you can link the whole teaching.
Yes.
The whole teaching. And that is the most beautiful moment. Then this understanding will stabilize. Then in the future, you become very different. Then you will not be like affected by the phenomenal world of consciousness, by what life manifests through the First Noble Truth reality. Means, like I explained that day at the Pamasari and Brother Tim's house, that Vesak Day sharing. To those who actually live in samsara before they awaken, you have the Four Noble Truths, the Noble Truth of dukkha, the Noble Truth of causal arising of dukkha or accumulation leading to suffering, then the Noble Truth of the cessation of dukkha, then the Noble Truth that explains the path that leads to the cessation. That is for mundane existential understanding. But when you walk the Supreme Vehicle way, when you realize the anatta nature, the empty nature of existence, then you take the Supreme Vehicle way. Then the Four Noble Truth, like, went into another deeper dimension. It's no more about the Noble Truth of suffering, where you have understood what suffering is and the cause of its arising. So it's no longer applicable to you. Then life becomes wonderful. means noble, true, or wonderful existence. And why life can become meaningful, wonderful, and existence can become so different. That's why I used to say, even though after we have penetrated the Dhamma, realize that everything is anicca, dukkha, anatta, especially not a permanent unchanging entity. Mind, make, are they are just the five aggregate segmented form and mind. They are dependent originating entity, not a permanent unchanging. That's why it cannot be you. It evolves. That's why that one is subject to birth and death. But that nature behind that is responsible for their arising is the unborn. The unborn is the unconditioned. So when you realize that, then you know how to understand life and live life. Then the whole understanding will unfold. Then you become so beautiful. Then you can live the wonderful existence, the noble life of enlightened being, and yet there is no fear of dying. Who die? What die? Nothing die. It's just the understanding of the creation process, how the karmic nature conditioned the five aggregate of form and mind to arise, to manifest. Then like what you have realized through that book, The Emptiness, when you realize anatta nature means you penetrate emptiness. Anatta means not a permanent unchanging entity. Everything is dependent, originating, impermanent. And because of that, you want thing away, you suffer. And because it's impermanent, everything is just like mighty nature rolling by, evolving. There is no reality. That's why the whole of existence is empty. Empty nature existence. It doesn't mean that nothingness. Empty in the sense that no reality. Empty nature of existence. Existence exists, but it's not what you think. Actually, ultimately, it's no one dies, no one sick. That's why in the Heart Sutta, in true emptiness, there is no Four Noble Truth, no 18 sense right. No one died, no one old. Yeah. No attainment also. So all this understanding will unfold and they will stabilize deeper and deeper. Oh, very good. Rejoice with your good condition and understanding. Yeah, Wai Fun, sadhu.
Yeah, sadhu, sadhu.
Yeah.
Then,
Keep on with the good progress. Then what?
Then during the reading of that book, I also can aware my body got pulsating on
Yeah.
behind my back.
You read with awareness, sadhu.
Behind my back, on my leg, even buttock and
everywhere.
calf, everywhere, like a bit here and there pulsating.
Your nature can pick it out and you are aware of all this. That is what awareness is, sati. Very good, sadhu.
So that happened for some time. Then later on, it's time already. Then the Chan wake me up. It's time to go already.
Yeah,
otherwise, we will be late.
Sadhu.
Actually, that's all about my
Very
reporting.
good. We should all rejoice.
Yeah.
Sadhu. Very good, very good.
Actually, Brother Teo, I have one question to ask.
Okay.
Okay. I want to ask, actually, what is noble silence?
Good.
How noble silence can help in our cultivation?
Yeah. It's just the deeper understanding. I think now you are ready. You see, noble silence means not only you don't talk, that's why people at the retreat places for other Theravada tradition, they always put you call index finger in front of their mouth. Meaning what? Shh, don't talk. But don't talk is not noble silence. Do you know why? Because noble silence means the silence of a noble one. A noble one is an enlightened being. And the enlightened being's mind is the true mind, the silent mind. That's why it's noble silence. Means he not only don't talk, his mundane mind completely is without chattering. You know what is chattering inside there? No sound, but verbalize, chatter. Understand? That is noble silence. Means the sankhara is completely without activity. And to really be in that state is not easy unless you really cultivate. Then when you are reading that book, you are actually in the state of noble silence, where you read with awareness. And every word is the awareness developing the understanding. That's why that noble silence will make you sensitive. Sensitive in the sense that you can be aware of all the activity, including your physical body's activity, the vibration behind your back, leg, everywhere. Then the most pronounced one is, of course, your heartbeat. And all of your blinking of the eye, whatever you are aware of, that whatever that manifests and arises from the understanding of what you read, you can see with the awareness one. Then that joy, the understanding, that trigger off, is like complete connection of the Dhamma. It connects everything. Just like quite a lot of Kalimita has gone through, like what Ingbi all described. Once you are in that silent mind that have the direct seeing, when you see that one, then you understand what I share and what I mean. Yeah, without word. So peaceful, so tranquil, so still, so full of joy and understanding. And that understanding actually stabilizes and go in deeper. Then after you experience all this, you come out, you contemplate and reflect. That's why you have the joy to report the meditation. Then all this will stabilize further as you develop the faith and the cultivation and the progress. As I say, keep it up. And when your daily mindfulness stabilize further, develop until you are throughout the day aware, mindful and heedful, you become very beautiful. Yeah. Then yet you are very natural. You are no different from normal time, except now your mind has become more and more aware, mindful. And most of the time is with specific phenomena awareness or spacious awareness without thought. So specific phenomena awareness means you are most of the time mindful of the four foundations of mindfulness. Then when it comes to phenomena, it's the physical phenomena, mental phenomena, and nature's phenomena. Where you see all these three in the midst of life, in existence, all the time. Then the universal characteristic that manifests through that mindfulness or awareness observation, they keep on arising. That's why you will start to understand later, truth is everywhere. Why can't I see? For those who see, they always see. Where the seeing is from the direct seeing, the nature is no longer from the thought activity. It's not a knowledge. So noble silence now, you go in deeper. Not only verbally, you don't talk. The mind inside there, the judgment, the commenting, the chattering, the verbalization, all cease. You can follow, huh? Wai Fun?
Yes, yeah.
Sadhu. That one is most important, where you can check on when you are mindful and aware. It verbalizes a lot initially before you stabilize the understanding. It's like a commentator inside there. Now, why these people are there? Why? Then when you read something like the newspaper, it will also like commentator inside there. This prime minister, why so useless? This politician, why that? They comment a lot because before they have the Dhamma and the understanding, this is mundane thinking, mundane verbalization, judgment. They become very judgmental. They comment a lot, and they have a lot of what they call views and opinion of things. So everything to them also, they got something to say or talk about. But they got no time to be mindful, to be aware, to cultivate the understanding of the truth or Dhamma. So all this, when you start to see, you realize no wonder the Buddha said, living beings are really heedless, constantly lost in thought, verbalizing, chattering, commenting, and stirring and reacting their mind. That is not life. That is suffering for those who have the understanding. That's why the understanding completely reverse the what they call root out the delusion and reverse the way you live life. From heedless living, you transform over to heedful living. And when you are in that state and you experience that heedful living, you cannot fall back already. You cannot go back to the old way. Your mind is like completely transformed already. That's why only wisdom free, that is the meaning. Okay, so noble silence means completely silent within. No, not only you don't talk, you don't even verbalize, or the mind does not even chatter. Then it does not develop all the stirring of the mind, reaction, judgmental type of verbalization, commentator. All this you can actually see it. Then before you have the sati or mindfulness, you actually verbalize a lot. And sometimes you feel sleepy, then your dream also funny one. But when you transform, your mind state is so different. You have good sleep one, very clarity of mind. But then later on, as you move through the progress, the stages of transformation of consciousness will happen. Then your mind state, when you go into the sleep, also become different. But that one is another phase of understanding. So all this can be very beautiful. Good that you ask. A lot of people, they don't really have the stability or understanding. Like that day, I think, when the Chan asked about Yoniso Manaskara, even PG also reacted and feel the joy after he listened to the video recording. Well, not many people have the clear understanding of what this thing is. Well, these are wisdom at the moment of sense experience that manifests only after you have contemplated, reflected, and cultivated. Otherwise, that understanding cannot arise. It's spontaneous. It's like at the moment of sense experience, the understanding spontaneously manifests and prevent you from stirring your mind and reacting and developing all the what they call heedless thinking. And through all this, you start to understand the cultivation differently, the Dhamma differently, even noble silence, sadhu. Now you understand, clearer?
Yes. Yeah, thank you, Brother Teo.
Very good.
In fact, that day when Brother Teo shared about Yoniso Manasikara, I also have a better understanding.
Yeah.
Yes.
It helped you, yeah.
And especially after the recent Cameron Highland retreat, when I come back, I kind of know how to contemplate. And I contemplate pretty often on situation arise in my daily life.
That is the best. That is your best training ground.
Yes.
It can teach you a lot of things. That's why through observing what happened in life, how you react, how you stir, then you start to understand clearly how suffering comes to be, how attachment, craving, clinging through sakayaditi comes to be. Then you can see clearly how you actually, through the form and mind, function as a human being through the senses, how you know the world, how you actually interact with the world, and how you actually function and stir and create all the emotion. That's why everything is mind-made through what? Wrong view, sakayaditi, self-delusion. But when you reverse all this through the understanding and straighten your view, then all the heedless thinking, delusion, wrong view, wrong thought, all cease. Then Yoniso manasikara, wisdom arise. That's why only wisdom free. That's why you can see clearly. Then you understand clearly. Who are you? What are you? And how you function as a human being. What I mean is the form and mind. Then you realize that one is non-self, not a permanent unchanging entity, just a karmically conditioned vehicle and tool for your nature to arise. And it's not what you think. Then once you penetrate that understanding with your recent experience and contemplation and awakening, you start to link the Dhamma and develop all the understanding. Then this stability will change you. You become very different over time. Then you allow and smile at a lot of things, especially later on when your children approach you, or Ming On or your daughter or your friend or your colleague or whatever. Then you know how to guide them. You know how to slowly share with them. But initially you know they cannot understand one. So you don't need to go deep. You just have to impress them that if you want answer, you go and learn the Buddhist teaching. Or you go and listen to some of the video sharing. Then if they continue to talk to you, they can develop a lot of understanding from you. Then from the way you explain things, they know you are different. Then your personality, your demeanor will show up, your confidence. And they can, especially your loved one, your children, they can know you are different already. You have changed. And they know you have good virtue, character. And whatever you express actually is very useful for them to understand, develop the understanding of life and to live life. Your advice, your guidance, they are very beautiful. So all these stages of transformation that happen can actually transform the cultivator. And it's a very natural process. It will happen naturally over time. Then that joy, that understanding, it becomes a part of you. So during that time, you will have a lot of joy, a lot of what they call understanding behind, and the understanding really make you very different. You feel so different. You can help people already. You can be a blessing to many already. Very good.
And actually, Brother, when my daughter came back for holiday, we took her to your class, right? So after that, I share with her on what is condition arising. She kind of can pick up, kind of can pick up, and then sometimes when she talk to me, then she will use this word, Mommy, this is condition arising for me to see this and experience this.
It's for them to learn,
yes,
so that they don't become emotional, fearful, or unhappy. Because sometimes they will use the word, why I so sweet every time. These are people with negative karmic tendency from the past. That's why they keep on reacting. But if you have children that has the good karmic inheritance, like your two children, they will look at it differently, and they can understand what you share with them when the time comes. Because Dhamma is something not easy for normal people to understand. But if they have the past, the condition, they can pick up one and they can understand one. Because they can see within their own family they are different. Like my children used to tell us, that is our family very different. They saw a lot of their classmates and colleagues very messy on their family. A lot of problem. Not to talk about harmony or what. Small thing also, a lot of. Then sometimes karmic, when it hit them, wow, a lot of karmic entanglement. So all this is what the Dhamma is. When you have the Dhamma, it can transform you into a noble understanding, living the noble life. And understanding life is very important. unless you understand life, you cannot live life. If you don't have the right understanding to live life, you cannot be happy, you cannot be peaceful. You cannot have the what they call noble life, to appreciate life. Very good. Sadhu. Yeah.
Thank you, Brother. Thank you for your
Yeah, thank you,
sharing.
thank you.
Thank you for your Dhamma sharing. I learned a
Yeah,
lot.
sadhu, yeah.
I
Very
cannot
good.
express my thanks enough.
Yeah, yeah. Your sharing actually give rise to a lot of joy. That's why my nature also rejoice. Like last time I remember Cindy shared that time also a lot of joy. It transformed their life. A lot of Kanyamita, their life become very different. So you are going through all those phases which are very beautiful. Yeah. So let us rejoice. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Very good. Okay, almost time. I think we can end. Okay. Let us share merits, transfer merit, starting with the Devas. Akasata cha bhumata devanaga mahindika punyang tang anumoditva cirang rakantu loka sasana ittavata camehi sampadan punya sampadan sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo devo asadkalina sasa sampati hetu cha Pito bhavatu loko cha raja bhavatu dhammiko imina punyang kamina mami bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yawa nivana patiya sadhu sadhu sadhu. Okay, you can now mindfully pay respect to Lord Buddha, Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, and the worthy ones. Then we end. Sadhu.